again. Scottie Barnes saved the day for the Raptors. It was a block party in the clutch. They've won 8 of their last 9. Let's go to the film room.
The only thing that's originally filmed is that and I've studied older films and tried to figure out how I got that impression. I was getting meetings right in the cutting room.
The unique thing about film is an art form
exactly.
is the editing.
Nice dunks. This one brought to you by a beautiful seal by Jakob Poeltl here in the paint that gave the runway for BI to dunk this ball. And that was a little preview of what's coming. I enjoyed Brandon Ingram's defense all night. Here, he does a great job of using his length against LaMelo Ball. The Raptors are number 1 in scoring off of screens, and it's because of actions like this for Brandon Ingram. So he's going to set a gut screen for BI. BI is going to pop out to this area and get an opening to knock down this jumper. As we see here, pinned down essentially, but it's called a gut action because it's near the paint. So it's a pin down, and BI settles into a mid-range jump shot. This is the part of the game that we've been waiting for. BI has been quiet from 3 so far this season, but here 3 as well. I just wanted 6.5 rebounds this season, using his length to be a defensive rebounder for this team in close possessions. I think that's very important because the Raptors are asking him to do so. All right, so this is a wedge screen for Brandon Ingram. Wedge means just to set a screen for a guy to get a window of space in this post area. And, you know, the Nuggets run it a lot for Nikola Jokic, so it's a wedge screen. And now he's in the post area here. Raptors get the defense to rotate because, again, Zion James here. This is going to be a help defender. And so good job. RJ Barrett is going to come here and set a flare screen for IQ to pop out and knock down this 3. It's really intuitive basketball by the Raptors, but it's also created because Brandon Ingram is tough to handle in the post. Again, all right, an incredible play from Brandon Ingram here. Rejects the screen from RJ Barrett. Terrible defense by Miles Bridges, by the way. Terrible sandwich, by the way, Mom. And just puts Ryan Kalkbrenner on a poster. Unreal play. Look at the bench reaction. Shout out to Jamison Battle here, who is the king of bench reactions. That is a terrible squiggle. Shout out to Jamison Battle with the reaction. That was awesome. But this whole team is hyped right now after that monster dunk. So you've seen this play. I've broken it down before where it's an option screen. So he has the option to get here, but he also is going to have Jakob Poeltl set a screen for him so he can pop out here. It's just giving him options to go whichever direction he wants. These are the type of offensive reps that the Raptors will be working through in clutch situations with BI. Clutch time is Brandon Ingram time for the Toronto Raptors. It is a tie game. He has been working in this pinch post area all game long. He's liked the Colin Sexton matchup, so that means that the Hornets will have to help, whether that means LaMelo Ball is going to pinch in here or it's Ryan Kalkbrenner helping from the baseline. There are a lot of options. Regardless, they are going to help defensively. And so what happens? LaMelo stunts and then sends the double. This is now a hard double. And Brandon Ingram has been knocking down this turnaround shot. What he does, he takes his time. He knows how to bait the defense. And so great job of fighting through this double. So BI was awesome in this game. Again, a game where the Raptors, for honestly no fault of their own, you know, they missed a bunch of layups, but at the same time, the officiating in this game was weird. They got, I don't know, let's see, 21 foul calls on the Raptors, leading to 30 free throws. They were clearly frustrated by the officiating all throughout this game, specifically Scottie Barnes. And, you know, Emmanuel quickly, even Darko Rajakovic on the bench was very frustrated. But the Raptors pulled out a win. And this big thing was BI, Brandon Ingram, huge game, beautiful pass, but also the beautiful block. And I want to get to that immediately. The Raptors limited the offense of the Hornets to 0 points in the final 1 minute and 41 seconds of the game. A lot of that was because of their starting lineup making clutch plays on the defensive end. Let's break it down. So Hornets are running a pick and roll. You know, good job by Jakob Poeltl showing and then recovering out to Moussa Diabate. He sells out on this drive. So Jakob sells out on this drive because he doesn't want to get LaMelo Ball an easy layup. A beautiful pass to Moussa Diabate, but also great recognition by Scottie Barnes, who is going to get his hand in this cookie jar and force it to be a dead ball. So with 8 seconds left, dead possession, they run a dribble handoff on the empty side for LaMelo Ball, who gets downhill. Again, a really great job by Jakob Poeltl to sell out on this drive to avoid an easy LaMelo Ball jumper. But at the same time, really good reaction time from Immanuel Quickley to get this offensive rebound and to smack it away. Raptors get the stop. And this is the play you now know. So again, same situation, pick and roll, LaMelo Ball getting downhill, a beautiful pass to Ryan Kalkbrenner. This is a layup. This should be a tie game now after Kalkbrenner scores this. But look at Brandon Ingram here, who is going to use his length to block this shot on Ingram. Incredible recovery time and just a really great hands-up play. 3 blocks from Brandon Ingram tonight, none bigger than that one right there. So this is good defense by RJ Barrett, who struggled defensively tonight, forced Miles Bridges into a tough contested shot. Offensive rebound gets bobbled by Jakob Poeltl, but again, a point-blank layup is erased by Scottie Barnes in the clutch, who blocks this shot. Raptors end up winning this game. Folks, it was awesome. It was a great ending to what was a pretty sluggish game, and I expected the Raptors to be a little bit sluggish. I've talked to players about this before. I was talking to Blake earlier on the Raptors show, but after a road trip, the first game back home is always a trap game. It is always a trap game because you come home, you're comfortable, you feel good, but at the same time, you feel tired. Have you ever come back from a vacation, however long it is, and those first couple of days, you're a little groggy. You're still recovering, still trying to figure things out. That is exactly how it feels to be the first game back home after a 5-game road trip. At least that's from the players that I've spoke to. That being said, the Raptors pulled this game out. Officiating be damned. Weird calls be damned. A tough game from RJ Barrett on both ends of the floor be damned. The Raptors pulled this game out. They have now won 8 of their last 9. They're playing really good basketball. And Brandon Ingram was a huge part of their success tonight. This is why they've brought Brandon Ingram into the fold. This is why they traded for him. It's to work him into clutch situations. The Raptors last year, especially in clutch time, in moments where they were trying to win games, they really struggled when it came to operating offense. And so these type of moments where you need a bucket, you will rely on Brandon Ingram's mid-range repertoire. That is why they brought him in. That's mostly the reason they brought him in, is for him to alleviate some of the offensive pressure, but also to deliver in clutch moments. And tonight, he did it on both ends, which is super impressive. I think he has bought in defensively. Earlier I broke down some of the defensive highlights that he had tonight too. He had 5 stocks. I think he's been pretty good defensively. He's getting better at weaponizing his length. He's such a long player that it's actually easy for him to be a good off-ball defender. On-ball stuff, not so much. I think that's a work in progress. We'll see how much he can be able to live up to that. But I think off-ball, very, very good. Very good in terms of how he's using his length. And you saw it there with that clutch block. At the same time, tons of defensive possessions where Scottie Barnes was just incredible in this one, causing deflections, wreaking havoc. Let me see. What did he end up with? 1 steal and 2 blocks in this game. I saw earlier that it's 10 straight games with at least 1 steal and 1 block for Scottie Barnes. He's playing all defense level basketball, man. He absolutely is playing all defense level basketball. And if he continues at this pace, he will write that all defense spot in pen at this point. Raptors look really good. I also think the bench continued to look good tonight. Jamal Shed, not the greatest game. He had some moments where he was making plays, but overall, I thought he struggled defensively. Colin Murray-Boyles had a couple of nice plays. Could have had more nice plays, truthfully, but he missed a wide-open dunk. Mamu, again, pretty quiet night, but it had some moments. Regardless, the bench came in and immediately provided a boost once again. Like, slow start for the Raptors. I believe it was like 11-11 or 14-11 at some point. And the Hornets or the Raptors called a timeout. They started to filter through their bench, and the Raptors immediately jumped out to a lead. The guy off of the bench who was the most impressive tonight, though, was Gradey Dick, who ended up with 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 offensive rebound, 2 assists, and 1 steal on Con Knipple. Let's talk about Gradey. So this is just an awesome play by Gradey. So he recognizes that he can make a strong side cut here in order to create an opportunity for Brandon Ingram, just clear out for BI in the pinch post area. And so that's what he does. Cuts to the basket. Great job by Jamal Shed to find the cutting Gradey. And a even better job by Gradey to find Mamu on this play. A one-handed, left-handed, one-legged pass to Mamu, who knocks down the 3. Got to be able to make defenses pay for sagging off of you, and so tons of attention on this Brandon Ingram drive. Good job by Gradey to relocate to an area where he makes this passing angle a little bit easier for Ingram. And so what happens here, BI, draw intro. Now the Hornets have worked to get Con Knipple an empty side action with Gradey Dick here. Really good job of using his active hands to force the turnover. Now, I still think there's some meat on the bone that the Raptors can get to. This is a cross-screen action in the post for Scottie to get the mismatch of Terrence Mann, but it also has a second option of Gradey snaking his way up here as Jakob sets a pin down for him for a wide-open shot. Quickly should be able to make this pass, and truthfully, while Scottie ends up with the mismatch, this is the read that needs to be made. IQ can get Gradey a good above-the-break wide-open shot here. I think this is the pass that needs to be made in this specific possession. Just got to capitalize on these moments when it comes to Gradey. Darko Rajakovic has told us so much that he thinks Gradey is an underrated passer. Here he attacks the closeout, makes a beautiful read, dump off pass to Jakob for the finish. So this is a sick play. They've got a mismatch of CMB on Sexton, and so he's fronting here. Sexton is. Great job of throwing this pass overhead, and a wild wraparound pass by CMB to dart this over to Gradey to knock down this 3. And so as you see, CMB wraps this pass around Bridges. Good job, pump, dribble, and knocks down the 3. That's confidence right there. And so Gradey Dick continues to build and figure out things throughout the season. Basically, the Raptors have had 1 or 2 remarkable bench performances every single game so far. Tonight, it was Gradey Dick. To a lesser extent, Mamu. The other night, it was all 3 of them. They've had a lot of moments where those 3 have elevated what the Raptors have provided. I put this stat out on the Raptors show tonight, but I believe it was plus 23.3 in their 70 minutes together so far this season, that trio. They have developed some sort of defensive identity. They've developed an offensive identity, and it's really worked well for the Raptors. This was a fun game. I understand that there were a lot of officiating calls and all that type of stuff, and it was annoying to deal with that. The game ended later than it probably should have because of that. But the way the Raptors won this game was wildly exciting. Those are the type of games that when we recap this season, you will remember because of the beautiful Brandon Ingram block, because of the beautiful Scottie Barnes block. And that, my friends, is why this Raptors team is pretty good. They, even in the games where it feels like they're not going to win, where it feels like they're kind of not performing at their best, they're able to gut it out and pull out a victory. And it looks good, folks. It looks very good. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all the support you guys have provided for Raptors Republic. This channel continues to grow. We have a lot of great stuff coming out throughout the year for you guys that I'm excited to show you guys. Zolfi just dropped a CMB video essay, which you guys should absolutely go out and check out. Pull-Up Tray should be out by, I believe, 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning on Tuesday. So if you're watching this at this point, you can go and watch that for more information. They do a great long-form podcast. Check that out. We will be back on Wednesday for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I want my get back. That is a redemption game because second night of a back-to-back without Jakob Poeltl, the Raptors lost a pretty close game in Philadelphia. They are now back in Philadelphia on Wednesday for a chance at redemption. I think they got a chance to do it. As always, We'll see you later. Like, comment, subscribe, do those things. And the Raptors win. Brandon Ingram block. Scottie Barnes block. Peace.